Yeah, you see that brick house over there? That there's the fella's crib. When he comes out, we're gonna light his ass up. Cheerio, old bean. I think I fancy myself a bastard foil. The hell are you talking about, man? What if we could somehow multiply the high visibility factor of this? If we multiply one high-vis handle by one high-vis shank, we should get two high-vises, or double the high visibility. Woo! I got diabetes, man. Guten Tag. Hey, so welcome to Herbrand, Canada, eh? No, not yet. Once we get it spread out all over everything, we should have a nice sheen on the surface of the wood. I'll never use a six-sided nut. You know what else is six-sided? The number of the beast. Oh, I'm gonna grab 'em. I'm gonna grab your nuts. So whenever I'm doing this kind of work, I like to keep one of those magnetic bowls handy. And then we'll just put these over here. I did want to mention the Japanese screwdrivers use what is called the jizz standard for their Phillips tips. What? Oh, come on, man. I wanted to do Omega Man reenactments with this. I got the velour tracksuit and everything. Here's a shot of me going in from the rear. Some sick slob had mutilated a Vaco cushion grip. What kind of twisted son of a bitch? Hello? Yeah, the boys out east have been asking for a video on the Craftsman V. I only use Craftsman V. My daddy used Craftsman V, and his daddy used Craftsman V. Now you do want to be careful when filling... Oh, for crying out loud. The humble clipboard. Both a clip and a board. Oh, hey, is it my turn yet? No, not yet. Oh, take off then. 3M Innovations. Bright products for a dark world. The top men at 3M Corporation are working diligently to make sandpaper that's 10 times stronger than its Soviet counterpart. Now, my daddy used to say that there V-Series is the best tools ever made, and by golly, they're the only tools I'll use. Look, there is no V-Series. It's just a manufacturer's mark. Nah. So then I told her, you should go out and get a lamp. Oh! 'Cause she needed a lamp. Oh! Schneider, Scorpion, Ship to Shore, Smith & Jones, Spectrum, Stick Test, Stormcat, Storehouse, Sherlock, Tailgater, Thunderbolt, Titanium, Crucifix. Wafting. There is still a lingering dead prostitute odor remaining. Hey, is that a bottle of Yahoo? I'm taking that with. The streamlight is small and light enough that you can go hands-free by holding the flashlight in your mouth. It really does help to illuminate the stream. Wonder if that's why they call it a streamlight.
Hey, like, welcome to Walmart and stuff?
Yeah, these are definitely silicone. You can tell when they're silicone by the feel. A snap-on supremacist militia was selling illegally modified Southwire wire strippers. They had filed off the patent number, but I was still able to run a trace on it. They advertised their cocks as being so hard that they could cut steel, and even commissioned a demonstration where two guys pounded a cock into a steel bar, cutting into it. That's a hard cock. Since business cards are all different, they can be different thicknesses. Does it have raised Cillian rail lettering, embossing? Is that color off-white? Bone, maybe? Oh my, is that a watermark? Hello! Alright, welcome everybody. Got quite a few people here already, which is pretty cool. But yeah, welcome to the, I guess, Christmas Eve live stream. Well, Well, you don't have to wait anymore. We're live. All right. So yeah, let me know if that snow overlay on the screen gets annoying. I can turn that off. I think it looks pretty cool. Also the background music, if that is too loud or if you need me to turn that up, let me know, because I can't hear it on my end, but you guys should be hearing background music now. But anyway, I didn't have too much of an agenda for today. I thought we'd just hang out. I do want to work on some graphics for the next Tool Lore episode. So we'll be doing that today. Otherwise, what else do we got? Oh, I got the Santa hat on my VTuber avatar. We got Christmas lights. Oh, and now, see if this works. I can do this. You guys hear it? What about this? So now, so yeah, now I have a soundboard, so I can make a joke, and if the joke bombs, I can do this. Alright, that one is a little bit long. I might have to turn that down. Trim that down. Or if the joke is good, I can do this. Really hope you're hearing the sound effects too. I don't know if that's working. What do we got here? William Ricow says, hey. Florida Stealth, all levels optimal, excellent. Timothy Hope, hello, hello. Hey all. Her. Master of None says it's a Christmas miracle. William says, we are in fact hearing tasteful background music at a reasonable volume. Excellent. I should upgrade the Christmas lights to LEDs, yeah. Okay, so you are hearing the sound effects. Excellent. Alright, so what are we doing today? Working good, great. So today, I thought we would drink some eggnog during the stream. Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to share with any of you guys. Let's see here. Nope, I gotta go back. Here. Hey, you can see me. Alright. So I just bought eggnog. Hold this way. I bought the Evan Williams eggnog, which I believe I had this a few years ago. It was pretty good. So we'll be doing that. Unfortunately, I did not put this in the fridge, so it's warm. So I got ice in the glass. Let's get this opened up. Hopefully not spill all over my desk. You can't see. Here we go. The pour. That should be good. There we go. All right, cheers, everybody. Oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, this is really good. I'm gonna have to be careful with that. Watered down eggnog ain't nog. Eat. I did, at one time I did try making my own a few years ago, and of course if you make your own, it's a lot better. But did not want to do that today. So I just bought that at the store. But it tastes pretty good. Oh, what am I missing? Don Corbett, no LEDs, that's not real Christmas. Okay. J.A. says, when are you going to share your mugshot? Probably never. Maybe. We'll see. Master of None says, I'm secretly Hank Hill. Yeah, no, not quite. William says, that's sad. I brought some eggnog last night. I went for it about 4 o'clock and it was separated. Went back to the store, the whole batch was bad. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I did shake this one up a little bit. Because it says to do that on the bottle. But that sucks. PD says, got some nice keyboards. What is that old one? It's actually not an old one. This one here? This one is... This is the NCR 80 keyboard. I don't know if you can still get these, but these were on like AliExpress a few years ago. It's a kit. I built this from a kit. It's modeled after an old... Not sure what brand, or whatever NCR is. It's modeled after an old keyboard. But yeah, I made this, I put it together from a kit. And then this is a macro pad from XP Pen, a company that makes drawing tablets, but I use this for video editing. I have my shortcut keys. Like when I want to go back to my desktop, I can just do that. Or I'm on the wrong layer and it plays a sound effect. Here, hold on. So I can do this. And then go back here. And then to go back to the camera. And I can use this wheel, that's pretty cool. Cheers. Yep, cheers. Cheers to you as well. At least someone got a good batch. Was it that same brand, the Evan Williams? That's interesting. Corbett, he's really Mike Judge. No. IBM? No, it's a NCR. It's some national something company. It's a remake of some old company that doesn't exist anymore. Oh my god, you're right. National Cash Register. Yeah. Yep. Duh. That was my bad. Thank you guys. Cheers. Thank you. Old enough to remember those. Wow. Oh, have you guys been seeing Santa? You've been seeing Santa lately on the stream? Where's he coming from? So this, here he is. This is from an actual ad that I found in an old automobile trade journal for a Coes wrench from, I believe this is from 1912. I don't know why, but for some reason this Santa here does not look very happy. Does he not look, I don't know, kind of menacing? Like, why is he holding this giant wrench? Doesn't look jolly at all, I don't think. Kind of scary. And it's a huge wrench too. Look at the size of it. It goes all the way across his body. Reminds me when you sneak up behind you and hit you on the head with that thing. Anyway, I thought that was cool. Florida Stealth, who's being judgmental? William Rico, I miss some of the old names. NCR, Digital, Burroughs, Sperry, Univac, Control Data Corp, yeah. PD3331. Looks like you can still get the kits. What switches did you put in yours? I believe this has... I went with the Gatoron brown switches. Batch was Darigold. The eggnog? Interesting. Yeah, wrench of... It says the quality wrench of eternal service. Interesting stuff in some of these old ads. And Corbett is mad because he's working on Christmas. Santa? That's what she said. He ain't bringing coal, he's bringing a monkey wrench and gonna use it. That's what he looks like, I think. I think it looks scary. Alright, let's see how the stream is doing here. Oh, 43 people watching. Excellent. Oh, 41. 2 people just left. Alright, well, let's check out some previews for the next Toolor episode. How about we take a look at this? What do you guys think of this? This is for the next Toolor episode. I'm guessing you can figure out what the company is that we're going to be talking about. But yeah, I want to do a A-Team parody, at least for the intro. And I'm not sure if I like the green, but I wanted to change the color of the van. Or the green, I don't know. But I think it's pretty cool. So we'll be working on some other graphics for this today. Williams says, I have a monkey wrench in my rig that has a patent date of 1888. It's a buttress thread. It has a quick adjustment button. Very cool. Yeah, the Coes wrenches, that's for a future tool lore. I want to do another episode on Namanet style adjustable. But that'll probably be after the Allen episode. I love it when a plan comes together, yeah. A-Team, yep. Well, this is good. Bad Allen Baracus. Yeah, so Mr. T's character in this series, his name was B.A. Baracus. And like, I think officially, like on the show, they said that it stood for bad attitude. But everybody knew it actually stood for bad ass. Timothy Hope says, Allen was good tools. Yeah, there was. Have you done I Destroy yet? What does that mean? Clarify, please. I Destroy? Not sure what that means. Oh, not I Destroy, Indestro. Yes, I did Indestro not that long ago. The video, I don't know, it didn't do too well. I think it's gotten like 6,000 views or so. But it's odd, because that was probably like the second, no, that would have been like the third most requested brand in the series. And for some reason, I don't know, the video just didn't do very well. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. I put the link to it in the chat. But yeah, the Indestro, that was another, for me, that was an extremely interesting one to do. Autocorrect, yeah. Yeah, we did Indestro a while back. Alright. Let's get started here. I know my chair is making noise, you guys can hear it. There. Oh, that was bad. Pete's Guide. Badass Baracus belongs in Leisure Suit Larry, yeah. Carabella says the license plate. Yeah, there's quite a few running gags I like to incorporate throughout the videos. You're working on building a set of Indestro Super. Nice. Alright, well, let's get started. So for the graphics that I wanted to work on today, while we're hanging out here, I have this. So I made this little AutoCAD looking thing from the old MS-DOS version of AutoCAD. And I'm going to put, when we look at patent drawings from William Allen, we will put them in here. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So now we need to go to, where did I put it? Here. Here. Patents from William G. Allen, the inventor of the Allen wrench. Let's see what we got. Manufacture of wood screws. Interesting. I believe from my research, this was before he invented the Allen wrench. He worked for a couple other companies, and he must have made these during his tenure at, what did it say here? Globe Screw Company. This looks pretty cool. What are we doing here? Nope, I'm behind on chat already. John Corbett says, I've got a 3/4 inch Indestro 300 foot-pound torque wrench. That is a big boy. Pete Studley says, cool. William just bought a new Fluke meter today. Got it off Marketplace for $150. Oh yeah, the Fluke multimeters are nice. I've got an older, I forget the model number, like F82 or something, I don't remember. But it's been in a couple of videos. Brings back memories of ACAD. If it's any good, it's a Fluke, yep. Dan Fisher says the one blue light is looking pretty dim. Yeah, some of them, if one goes out, they all go out. I thought about animating those, but I don't know if I can do that while live streaming. That would have been tricky. Yeah, the AutoCAD screen should be, it's from one of the old MS-DOS versions, so it's pretty old. For torque wrenches, I really like Dremometer when I can get them. Dremometer. I'm making a note to look into them. Master of None, your high school had AutoCAD on an Apple II. I'm surprised it would run on that. I remember when we had, well, the early versions probably could. 'Cause later on I know they made it a requirement you had to have a math coprocessor and all that. Jake asks, why are multimeters either $15 or $150 with nothing in between? Yeah, it seems like it's like that with a lot of stuff, especially when you get into tools. It's like there's not really a middle ground anymore. And Meow says, cat, snowman, tree, thumbs up. Thank you, Meow. So let's see what's going on with this patent here. Okay. So clearly this is the forming of a screw. So it starts out here, then they add the head to it. Then they do nothing different to it at all. Here they add the slot, they cut in the slot. And then the tip, just the tip. And then the threads. This must be how they cut the threads. This is interesting. I don't know if this is something we can use in the video or not. This must be what they use to cut the threads. This is like a file. And I bet the screw blank, this guy, would get rolled in between these. Yeah, there's two of them here. And then that cuts the threads. Interesting. Hartford, Connecticut. So that's the guy we're looking at. Something to do with rolled versus cut. Alright, well this is cool. This is something I'll have to look into off stream. Fire extinguisher? Alright, so this is not our guy, because the Allen that we're looking for was from Connecticut, and these guys are from Ohio. So this is a different guy, which is something that I come across a lot when researching stuff. Got a patent from the wrong dude. That's a Canada patent. No, this is cool. Alright, this I might be able to do like an animation or something with. Well, Keith Studley says Utica torque tools are the best. Yeah, apparently they're still around. Somebody bought out the torque wrench division. Carabella says the Apple II could be upgraded to CPM. Interesting. Fast Chicken says, me and my brother love you. Well, thank you. And William got a 3/4 inch Dremometer D or E that was Canadian Army surplus. It goes to $550. Oh, that's another big boy. Sturdivant. I think I have one Sturdivant torque wrench. The other end of the scale I got a Robo Torque. Rolling plate. Yeah, I think that's what that was. I think that was a rolling plate for rolling threads. They still roll threads that way. Each guy says rolled threads are way more stronger and way cooler to watch being made. Alright, so I'll have to look into that for the video. I want to see what Allen's connection to that was. It looks like he definitely patented something to do with that. Timothy Hope liked the Armstrong. Yeah, Armstrong was good tools too. What is this? Alright, so first let's make sure this is R. Allen. Hartford, Connecticut. So this is our guy. And what in the heck is this? What? Wow, so this is a different way to cut the threads. You got rollers here. And I'm guessing this whole thing would spin and cut the threads on the screw. Or did it just press down on it? One of these parts spun. Either they spun the screw, or they spun probably the screw. This thing's pretty big. So this is cool. Different types of cutters. Or this might have been a multiple process where they cut it first with these. Wow, look at that. So the screw just gets pushed through these little roller guys, which are spinning, and it just cuts the threads on it. Or rolls the threads. Very cool. Anthony Tripp says his cat smells like peanut butter. Interesting. It was the French. Oh, I missed one. We don't know who made the first threading lathe. We credit an Englishman, but it appears that a Frenchman did it first. Interesting. Or roll the threads. Yes, but we don't know who they were. A rotary linear thread roll. That's what this thingy here is, I'm guessing. Lost to history. Had to be an Italian, probably Da Vinci. Mauldslay lathe. That's something I should look up. Mauldslay lathe. Henry Mauldslay. We're getting a little off topic here, but this might be interesting. Maudslay's invention of a metal lathe to cut metal circa 1800 enabled the manufacture of standard screw thread sizes. Standard screw thread sizes allowed interchangeable parts in the development of mass production. They acquired... made a lock, a hydraulic press. Alright, this guy's somebody else we want to look into for a tool lore episode. Micrometer. He invented the first bench micrometer. No, he worked on the Thames Tunnel. Applied to steam-driven pumps. Alright, well, we're putting a bookmark in him for later. Mauldslay. Yeah, we'll do a tool lore episode on him later on. They made threads by hand originally, yeah. Midnight Special. Unfortunately, I can't hear the music. But yes, Midnight Special is in there. It's mostly Christmas music. But the guy had Midnight Special in there. And it's royalty free. According to YouTube, I have a license to use it. Hopefully I don't get copyright claimed. But the name of the channel, it's Ease Jammy Jams. They made the music for tonight. Heat's Guide says, what made Phillips head screw possible to manufacture was the patents for multi-stage recess forming. Well, that's kind of what we're going to see with the Allen stuff later, when we get to the Allen patent. They did some interesting stuff with that as well. On the net, yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that guy some more. There's some interesting stuff there. Williams says the weirdest torque wrench in his collection is a Williams measure wrench. Both visual and click. Interesting. That's it. That's what we were just looking at. Old box waylathe. Interesting. At least the beginning we know of. Yes, good one, Fred. Mauldslay is huge. Williams said if you're going to get into British mechanical history, you're going to have to get a copy of the Templeton or the improved Templeton. There are 3 copies in the world for sale. I'm assuming somebody has a digital version. The Templeton or the improved Templeton. Interesting, we'll look that up later. There's good books on the net to read. Yeah, I found there's a ton of good stuff like on archive.org, even within Google Books. Eddie057 says, does it pinch? This thing probably does. I bet you wouldn't want to get pinched by that thing. Alright, well this looks really cool. I'll have to research this some more. But I think we definitely want to include this patent in our video. So then we'll go over here. Over, where are we going? Here? No. Alright, so here's our machine. And I'm going to remove the background. And we'll make a temporary background. Actually, this is not going to work because I want a black background. So, let us invert colors. And then make a black background. There we go. think this is going to look a lot better if we add some color to it, but don't want to do that yet. Let's clean this image up first. So we'll get rid of this text that's over here. And we'll try and get rid of as much of this noise as I can. That's looking better. Then, let's see. Bessemer's autobiography is great. Bessemer, making a note to look that up. I knurled my finger. Yeah, if you put your finger in here, it would, well, it would thread it, which would be probably even worse than knurling. Been eyeing one on... You're talking about that book? It's in Lisbon, Portugal. There's another in Dublin and another in New Zealand. Interesting. Copyright free today. The book or the music? Arabella says nice artwork. Yeah, I love some of these old technical drawings. They just, I don't know, they just look really cool. Of course, if you do Mauldslay lathe, there's another video on the first French lathe. Okay. They discovered the French lathe, or are you saying you want me to make a video on it? Jim, you can always back up the stream. You didn't miss too much. We've just been goofing around, and right now we're looking at old patent documents. Keith asks, what did Bessemer get converted from? Converted? William says, it's not thread capable. It was called The Machine That Built Everything on YouTube. Adding a note to look into that. Bessemer developed crucible steel. Interesting. But he invented other things. He's a fascinating person. And he invented the modern pencil? Alright, we'll definitely have to look into that guy. I got him. He's on the list. Sounds pretty cool. Alright, let's get back to our drawing. So now what I want to do is make two of these, because I want to separate these, because I'll probably have this animated. I'll make it so that one... I'll make these two... They'll come together. You'll see it in the video. So this one, we want only to be the left half. So I'm going to delete all of this out. And we'll hide that one. Oops, I got rid of my figure one. Alright, so there's one half of our drawing. But, oh, I broke something. I gotta put this 31 back. But we want to erase. There we go. Alright, now, this half, we only want the right side. this can all go. This will be tricky. I want that 24, but not the 31. A lot of noise. Clean that up. It's looking pretty good. Cool, so now we have two on two separate layers. So later on I can animate these and have them move together. Nick Presnell says Bessemer converted from Catholicism. Interesting. Keith Studley, I just keep hearing of the Bessemer converter. Not sure what that is. I'm gonna love his autobiography. It's a page-turner. Alright, well, I'll definitely have to look into that. The guy had a clarity of vision that was unparalleled. He could look at things and see solutions. Sounds pretty cool. William says it converts iron to steel by means of a process. The Bessemer process is basically what all steel mills used. Otherwise, you just got pig iron. Interesting. Machine Thinking channel, is this the one on that, the French lathe? 2 or 3 years ago. One PC Fred says, prior to Bessemer, you couldn't make more than 40 pounds of steel at a time. One Bessemer run, you could make 2.5 tons. It was a monumental shift. And William says, and that comes to a video someone did about the last mill making real wrought iron in England back in the 70s. That would be interesting too. Basically, they shot air through it. This is the Bessemer steel method. Interesting. Alright, let's take a look at our drawing here. I'm seeing a couple things. Am I on the right spot? Yeah. So I need to get rid of this. And that. And here I'm just trying to get rid of some of these extra dots of noise that are here. But this is basically what I do for all of the patent animation drawings. Go to this one. Alright, I think this is pretty good. And the other layer? Okay. I think we got rid of most of the weird stuff. So I'm going to label these original left. right. Then we'll copy these. So now what I want to do is take each of these images and get rid of all of these numbers that are on here. Because sometimes that can make the image a little confusing. Especially if we're animating it. And this one's going to be a little tricky. Let's start here, I guess. But we'll get rid of these. And I might add them back and make them a different color. That's what we'll do. Now this is tricky because we have these lines here, which I'm wondering we should just get rid of them completely. These guys here, just take all of this out, right? I think this will make a much clearer image. I want that gone completely. I'm gonna have to redo this dotted line, which we can redo that pretty easy. I think it's gonna be easier to see this way, because if we go back to the original, this just makes it too cluttered. PC Fred says, the origins of technology is a topic that interests me. Yeah, me as well. It's always interesting stuff. You should make AI do it. Unfortunately, AI does a really bad job at this type of stuff. William says, it's truly amazing the work draftsmen used to do. That and the special film they used to use and take photos that were manually retouched to make drawings and manuals. Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool stuff. Vellum? Vellum paper? I think I've heard of that. It says, burn the carbon out and control the amount in the metal to make the steel. Pete's Guide says, I was right about the channel. So this would have been the Machine Thinking channel. I'll have to check it out too. Anthony Tripp says the first Bessemer furnace was in America. No, the first Bessemer furnace in America was in Troy, New York. He says it was a crackpot idea. Hold on. Hold on. Keith says it was a crackpot idea. Huh? As like in the soundboard? Oh, William says to cut the... Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I usually put the numbers in the other layer. So I saved the original untouched images layers here. So we're not going to lose them. And I will make a separate layer for just the numbers. And then usually what I do is I'll have that show up the original image, and then the numbers can kind of fade out. But we'll see. Anthony Tripp likes the lines. Yeah, I like them too. I don't know that they look good with the black background. And like I said, what I'll probably do is it'll start out like this with the lines and the numbers. And then as it appears on the screen, those lines will then fade out. And I think it's going to make the image more clear and easy to see what these parts are. You see, Fred says, without a legend, the numbers are meaningless. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to refer back to the patent document. Like, what's number 36 here? I don't know. You have to look it up in the document. So for now, we're going to get rid of the lines, but don't worry, we're saving them here. They're not going away forever. But I do want to get rid of them for now. So, it helps to be on the right layer. Alright, turn you off. Go here. Delete. A lot of this I should be able to just take out in one swoop. Nice. Yeah, see, they got weird lines around here. And up here we gotta do something. This. Delete. Oh, look at all these. Oh, that's on the other part. Okay. We'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of this. Much. Okay. That's looking better. That. Yeah, I think we want to get rid of all of these lines here. Some of these we'll have to retouch, but that's not a big deal. Where are we at? Pete's Guide says, unfortunately, I've never done machining. I'm embarrassed. We'll get into it eventually. Currently, slowly designing a simpler set of the metric system. Okay. Anthony Tripp says, simplicity is no simple thing. Arabella, the earliest known industrial patent was in 1421, given to Filippo Brunelleschi in Florence for a barge to transport marble. Huh, cool. The Italian. William is not a fan of metric. They say it's not arbitrary, but it's based on the distance to the equator or something. The Frenchman that did the surveying liked the vino too much. Williams. So when we meet aliens, and their measurement system is based on the distance to the second moon of Zorblap, it's just as arbitrary as a king's foot. True? And I botched the calculations. Buongiorno. Anthony Tripp says he was a friend of Voltaire who won a lot of money gambling. So much easier than fractions. Talking the metric system? Yeah, fractions, it just depends. Sometimes it almost seems easier to visualize in your head the fraction. I don't know why. I think maybe because some of us we just grew up with it. Keith says on what they thought the distance around the equator was. They were wrong. So the metric system was based on the wrong measurement. PC Fred says it was supposed to be the precisely 10,000 kilometers from the equator to the North Pole through Paris. Huh. Alright, I'm running low on Nog here. Oops, I'm in the wrong program. Meant to do that. Here we go. Most of my ice is gone too. Alright, cheers guys. That's surprising. Oops, sorry. That's surprisingly really good. Okay, one PC friend says divide pie into 10 equal slices. Good luck. William says, basically we have the French Revolution to blame for metric, and the fact that we didn't start using it. They missed it by 7 kilometers? That's the distance from the equator? That was still... for back then. His name was Duchatelli? Oh yeah, metric time. I remember reading about that. Yeah, because why are hours and minutes made up in units of 60? Why not make them in 10 or 100? But yeah, there was a metric time measurement at one point. But I don't think anybody ever used it. Timothy Hope, cheers. Thank you. Cheers to you. The Simpsons used metric time? I don't know if I remember that one. We didn't use metric because of pirates? Because the pirates were using the metric? Yep, okay. Du Châtelet. He and Voltaire figured out how to beat the French lottery. He used the money to fund his world travels. Alright, well that's another interesting guy I'll have to look into. Du Châtelet. Du Châtelet. Arabella says time was never metric, so we could have 3 8-hour shifts. Master of None says, ain't no metric on the moon. Yeah, fractions and slide rules got us to the moon. Pirates stole the metric standards? They had to ship them by ship? For real? Alright, well I'm gonna have to look into it. I'll admit I did not look too deep into metric origins. But I do want to do a video on it at some point. JAZD4RZ is back. Excellent. William Ricow says, yeah, they did, because the previous French Empire wasn't there to protect its assets. The pirates stole the documentation for the metric system? Interesting. Jake9705 just had some 2-star eggnog that tastes like shampoo. Guess that's why it's only 2 stars. Does mine have stars? Hold on. Doesn't say anything about stars, but this is what I'm drinking. Evan Williams. It's pretty good. It tastes really good. You have to be careful drinking it. He says no, it was the British that stole the patent or whatever. Yeah, it was the 1700s. Anthony Tripp says actually Ptolemy figured out the circumference and mass of the Earth. They stole the platinum metric standard. Platinum metric standard? You show pirates a bar of platinum and they're gonna steal it. I'm not sure if you're making a joke or if that really happened. William says, not the documents, the physical metric standard. Like the meter that's mounted to a wall? Did they only have one of them? You think they would have had multiple reference mediums, not just one. No, that's what happened. Oh, it was made out of platinum, you're saying. So they had a meter stick made out of platinum, and they took it. The British Navy took it and claimed it as a prize of war. Its content, which included the kilogram and the meter standard. So they stole the actual physical reference object for the standard. Wow. I mean, I guess you would need that back then. They shipped one to the USA, but pirates stole it en route. I wonder if there were 2 different incidents, or is this the same thing? Pete's Guide says, in 1793, privateers captured French scientist Joseph Dambe's ship in the Caribbean, stealing the official meter and kilogram standards he carried to introduce the system to America. Wow. There's probably I could probably do a video just on that. That's really interesting. Yeah, the physical meter and kilogram standards. Jake says it really happened. 1 kilogram used to be defined by a literal, actual artifact made of platinum. Looked like a front desk bell. Wow. Yeah, I could see why they would want to steal that. Wonder why they made it out of platinum, though. Yep. Chicken fried steak. Merry Christmas, everyone. Yes, Merry Christmas. Keith says no pirates, it was the Royal Navy. Huh. Well, I'll have to research that at some point. I definitely want to do a video on metric. Yes, they saved us from it, yeah. Pirates did steal it. I read it on the internet somewhere. Well, somebody stole it, it sounds like. The physical kilogram was changed recently, so the actual standard is now obsolete. Interesting. Anthony's not believing it. The Avogadro project? Is that something else I need to look into? Avogadro project? You guys are giving me lots of stuff to research. Anthony Tripp says if it was on the internet, it must be true, right? Jeffrey Field. The Ciro in Australia, inventors of Bluetooth, has a meter rule in a temperature-controlled cabinet at the National Measurement Laboratory. That must be one of those original standards. Cool. Mike Aprilwin says, Ontario... Oh, he's saying cheers from Ontario, Canada? Yeah, cheers. Gordon Frank says something. The shiniest ball on Earth. May have spelled it wrong. That's the Avogadro project? Huh. It's smaller now, like a Hershey bar? The kilogram standard? Gordon Frank sends a mummy emoji? I'm not sure what that emoji means. Looks like a mummy. You see, Fred says, yes, it cost a fortune. It's a polished ball of silicon. This is the Avogadro thing? Well, I'll definitely look into that. Jake9705 says, Veritasium did an amazing video about standardizing the kilograms competing standards, both the artifact standards and the mathematical standards. Veritasium? Veritasium. Kilogram standards. I'll make a note to check that out. Keith Studley says the meter and kilo finally got to the US government, but years late, and we had already set our standards before it got here. Huh, interesting. Yes, the new kilogram standard. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. William says they changed the definition of the weight. The original kilogram standard weighs slightly more or less than a kilogram. Huh. Wonder why they did that. One PC Fred, we keep all our standards in metric now. let's see where were we here? Oh, we got a lot more to do. I should have picked a simpler drawing for you guys to watch. If this gets boring, we can just move on to another one. But I just wanted to kind of hang out and work on some of this stuff. I know some people had asked to see some behind the scenes stuff, so here you go. I'm gonna get rid of these two. I'm gonna remove the shading. This I can just take out here. I don't know what's going on over here. I think that's supposed to look like this one up here. There's some sort of a pin that's inserted in here. I have to figure out what that is. Can we just do this? Can we take this, paste this here, and then flip it. It doesn't quite line up though, does it? This one goes in this. But now we can just delete this out here completely. Yes, look at that. But here we gotta get rid of this. No, they match. Oh, not really. Why does this have... There we go. Alright, let's put these back together. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. This whole block here we can get rid of. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Got it. Not bad. I think I can clean this up later too. There's some dirt in here. I think this is easier to see now, to see the pieces, compared to the original with all the shading and the numbers. There's too much going on. This is only going to be on the screen for like 8 seconds and then it's going to disappear, so... This makes a little bit more sense, I think. Kilogram is a definition of mass, not weight. Yeah, it says Paul is pretty proud of his '84 Toyota Celica. One of my neighbors actually has I don't know if it's an 84, but he's got an old Toyota. I know he's got well over 500,000 miles on it. He's had that thing for decades. Kilogram even. Okay. Oh, here you said a lycogram. Kilogram, okay. William says, Ballinator, has anyone told you you sound like a less angry crime pays, but botany doesn't? No, that's a new one. I've heard quite a few different you sound like this guy, but that's a new one. But Photoshop, no. This is the poor man's Photoshop. This is paint.net, which is... It's been around for a long time, but it's kind of like if Photoshop and the Microsoft MS Paint that comes with Windows got together and had a baby. This would be it. So it's a layer-based editor. We have layers here, and it's got a lot of stuff that Photoshop has, but not everything. But there are effect plugins that you can use, that you can do all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a little bit dated now. I started playing around with another program, Krita, but I'm just not familiar enough with it yet to use it. Like here I've got all the shortcuts kind of memorized. This is generally what I use to make most of the graphics in my videos. I use this to make my thumbnails. Pretty much all done in paint.net. Keith Studley asks, so what is a metric mile? Is it like a metric ton? Anthony says I sound like an American Patrick Boyle. Interesting. I have to think about that reference. Dan Fisher, any thoughts on a shop tour or a toolbox tour? Yeah, I wanted to do a shop tour at some point. I'm really just gonna do it. I mean, my shop isn't that filthy or anything, but I'd like to clean it up a little bit first, you know. But yeah, I do have plans to do a shop tour. Bob Coombs, a channel member, says, the real work behind YouTube videos. Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that, this is how the magic is made, as they say. William Breakout says, don't get rid of that. You remove the bore down the center of the tool. What did I do? Uh-oh. But it's okay. We still have the original here. So this is with the original. So if I take this out... You're talking about this part here? There was something here that I took out? There's something here. Is this the bore? This part here is clearly something there, so we're missing a line. I do want to get rid of this, because this was part of the number. And I think we'll just make a line. We'll just make a white line. And put this back. And I'll shrink this down. That seems to put it back. Is that what you were talking about that I removed? William Breakow, what editor are you using? Yeah, this is in paint.net. If you back up like a minute, I talked about it a little bit. Anthony Tripp, get rid of this, get rid of that. Then you wind up with a Chinese bridge. Each guy, the pound, can slug it out with the kilogram. William says, if anything, we need a system based on a scientific or physical constant. Yeah, I think it's nice to have some reference object that you can go back to. Otherwise, how do you know for sure, right? Looks a lot like GIMP. I played around in GIMP on Linux. I'm pretty sure you can run it on Windows now, but I never really messed with it that much. But yeah, I imagine it's pretty similar. Jeffrey Field says it looks like a blunt hole saw with a missing locator drill bit. This side? Yeah, some kind of screw threading or rolling for thread rolling machine. It was designed by the same guy that invented the Allen wrench. We'll be talking about this in the next tool lore episode. William was just going to ask if I've tried GIMP. Yeah, I played around with it when I've played around with Linux, but not very much. PC Fred has used Krita. Yeah, I've used it. I just recently installed it. I just haven't gotten the hang of it yet. Arabella asks, is it freeware? Yeah, Paint.net is free. It is not open source, if you care about that, but it is an entirely free program. It's entirely functional, and it does most of the stuff, at least that the old versions of Photoshop used to do. That's why I call it the poor man's Photoshop. Yeah, I know a metric ton is a real thing, but is there a metric mile? Is it like a nautical mile? I don't know. Metric ton is 1,000 kilos. One PC Fred, I love shop tours. Yeah, it's gonna be in the works. A shop tour and cleaning up. PC Fred says his shop is a disaster. Beholder, how about a shop cleanup organizing vid? I don't know if I want to do a video of me cleaning up. We might do an organization vid. I do want to put together a cart-like thing for doing electrical work. Maybe I can make a video when I do that. That might work. It'd be like an organizational, figuring out where everything goes. Maybe. William Ricow says number 40. Not sure what that's a reference. On PC Fred, I need a shop about 4 times bigger than what I have. Yeah, you always wish that you made your shop larger than it actually is. I thought when I built mine, oh, I'll never run out of space, but no, yeah, you will. You'll run out of space at some point. We'll look at the patent to see if you removed anything you'll be explaining. I'm probably just gonna be showing this and having the animation of this piece moving into this thing here. And maybe, I bet if I take the rollers from one of these other images, where is it? Yeah, if I take this image of the roller and have that animated so it's spinning, and it shows the thread spinning, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I know I need to fill in these dotted lines here that we took out. But the original image is this. The only thing I've removed is the shading that they added here. This little pocket is still here. This pocket is still here. I have to double check what this is. Probably something to do with the drive mechanism for this head, which is not something we're going to be talking about. We'll just be talking about he made a machine that does threads on screws. Beholder says, your favorite shop tour vid is the one from Fireball Tool. Fireball Tool. Oh, he's the guy that made that vise. And he did a video where he stress tested a whole bunch of old vices. Yeah. Very cool. There you go, fixed. Did I fix the part that was missing? Or are you referencing something else? I'm getting behind on chat, I know. I gotta catch up here. Oh, PC Fred, not a fan of the Fireball guy, I guess. When Beholder says, yeah, cool shop. He's always disabling comments? The Fireball dude? Interesting. A-Bomb79, he's a guy I followed his channel for a while too. He's pretty cool. Seems cool. The Windows GIMP is buggy. Yeah, I don't know that I ever tried the Windows version. I knew it was out, but I never tried it. Jeffrey Fields says, you sound like Columbia during his methadone phase. Keep on with the great content. Well, thank you, Jeffrey. Anthony Tripp has to go soon. Santa won't come by if you're not asleep. Bye from Atlantic City. Santa's right here. There he is, guys. Timothy Hope, you guys are messing with me. This metric and computer stuff is above my head. I'm way older than you guys. Sorry. Beholder, cheers. Have a good Christmas. Cheers, and a good Christmas to you as well. William has been running Slackware Linux since he left Windows 3.1, so 96 or 97. Wow. One PC Fred is almost a senior citizen. Beholder, the organizational vid. Yeah, I'll probably do something like that. William says he likes Abom79. He's just too good to talk with us normies now. I noticed a lot of the stuff, because I did watch him for a while, and I did notice a lot of the stuff that he's doing. It's stuff that's like way out, like I would never be able to do any of that stuff. So I kind of don't watch him as much. William, you're replying to William, that's around when you started running Linux as well. BLO coding party, yeah. Actually didn't get... No, I wiped the workbench down. But I didn't get all of the tools wiped down this year before winter. But they'll be fine. Jeffrey Field is a brass screw thread setting mechanism. This is a screw threading mechanism. This? Yes, this is a screw threading mechanism that was designed by the same guy that invented the Allen wrench. Or he was one of the designers on it. But here's the original patent. Oops. Oh, too much. There we go. So William Allen and whoever R.G. Henry is, I'll have to look at him. But this is a screw. Cutting threads on screws or bolts. Oh, pretty cool. Beholder said that would be cool. Yeah, the electrical cart organization vid. Yeah, I'll probably do that. One PC Fred ran Slackware 3.5, might have been 3.2. William was on 3.4, okay. Did Alan invent the wrench? No. Wrench was kind of a side effect from inventing the screw. Like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? But in this case, it was the wrench. No, the screw came before the wrench. I don't know. PC Fred's, his Linux machine had 16 meg of RAM. Yeah, I remember that. Fireball guy is high dollar. Yeah, he does have a lot of expensive stuff. Dan Fisher says Peg from Zip Ties and Bias Supplies built himself a sweet shop. Familiar with that channel? I don't know that I've watched them in a long time. Beholder, speaking of other channels, what are some of your favorites? Probably the same stuff that you guys watch. Scout Crafter. Who else? BVE. 357 Magdad. Catus Maximus. Who's the guy with the I can't forget his name. There's another guy, Mr. Pete. Mortsky. Terrell Fixes All. Those are some of mine that I can think of off the top of my head. William says Joe Pye and Mr. Pete. Yeah, I'm a fan of Mr. Pete. I'm not sure who Joe Pye is off the top of my head. Doubtful Technician. Yeah, he's another guy that puts a lot of humor into his videos. He's pretty cool. PRO says Tools and Targets. I don't know that I'm familiar with them. I'll have to look at that. Bob Coombs says, I love Abom when he was back at the home shop and some of his work at Motion. A big man using big machines to make big chips and big parts. Yeah, it seemed like he got into like more expensive, higher end stuff, and it's, I don't know, not as interesting. It's still cool though. Each guy's, yeah, This Old Tony is another one. Who's ClickSpring? I'm not familiar with ClickSpring. I'll have to look at that. TYT and ClickSpring. Not sure who those are off the top of my head, if I've seen them or not. This Old Tony, Keith Rucker. He's the vintage machinery guy. And Carabella asks, anyone watch The Zach Life? DIY oil field work. I'm not familiar with it. Dan Fisher says, Squatch 253, if you ever wanted to know how to completely restore cat crawlers. Watch 253. Not familiar with them. Alright, let's finish this up. And we can look at a different patent. I think this is looking good here. I'll add the dotted lines in later. But this side, there's a lot to remove. Oops, let me get that off of this layer. Okay. Then we can get rid of these numbers here. let's go. Oh, there's more numbers. There we go. Another number here. Yes, this whole bottom half. I'm thinking, rather than try and manually erase all of this, we just take the top half and just mirror it, flip it over. Nobody will notice. I think that's what we're going to do here. You see Fred likes safety sandal videos? Is that another channel? Master of None, Pole Barn Garage, and Low Buck Garage are awesome. I think I heard a Pole Barn. Not sure if I heard a Low Buck. We'll take a look at them. William Ricco. This is a reference to the... what was his name? Keith Rucker. Yeah, Vintage Machinery. You've bought and sold some parts with them. Pretty cool. One PC Fred likes Pakistani truck. Huh. Google is corrupt says, thanks for all the history lessons on the tools you provide. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. Pete's Guide says, ClickSpring is reverse engineering the Antikythera mechanism from 85 BC? Wow. Okay. ClickSpring? I'll make a note. I'll make a note to check that out. Beholder, another vote for ClickSpring. Alright, I'll have to check him out. William Rico says that is Midnight Special. Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the song. It's Midnight Special, but it's free. It's not, I don't have to buy a license for it. I can have the license for it for free, which is shocking to me because none of the other songs that are in that YouTube library, they're all like old-timey songs, or they're not popular songs. But, hopefully I don't get copyright claimed later on. One PC Fred says, not an engineer is good. I'll have to check that out. Hold on, guys, my chair is acting up. I know, you guys mentioned in the last live stream I need to, like, lube my chair, but sorry about that. Alright. Beholder says he built a replica of the Antikythera mechanism using only ancient tools and experimental archaeology. Mind blown. Huh. Yep, we got that. Beholder's got recommendations. Yeah, I gotten a bunch of recommendations too for stuff to check out. Coombs just watched Joe Kaczynski packing up his shop, CEE and Blondie Hacks, and Windy Hill Foundry. Learned about most of them from each other. I only accept personal recommendations. Adam Savage. Adam Savage has had some cool stuff. Blondie Hacks. I've seen her. Windy Hill Foundry. I'm not sure if I know all of those, but I know some of them. Oh, safety sandals. Yes, because they're not wearing shoes, they're just wearing sandals. I get it. Oh, let me go back and we'll do. There you go. Hopefully the soundboard is still working. Okay. Hand Tool Rescue. Yep, I've watched them in the past. Getting us too sleepy to keep my eyes open. See you next time. Alright, see you next time, Pete. Chris started the project in 2015. Is that the anti-Cathera mechanism? Yeah, click spring. Merry Christmas, pets. And a Merry Christmas to your pets as well. Or you meant Pete. Master of None Ball and Air needs an Allen wrench to fix his chair. I just gotta, like, lube up some of the pivot points on it, because whenever I move, the mic is picking it up. WHF Ores Keith's cast iron parts. Windy, you just said it a minute ago, I'm sorry. Yeah, here it is, Windy Hill Foundry. The Windy Hill Foundry makes the castings for Keith, who is for Vintage Machinery. Got it. One PC friend says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. Alright, Pete and William are hitting it off. That's cool. No, Fred and William. No, Pete and William. I'm getting confused. I've only had 2 eggnogs, I swear. It's time for another one, though. Okay. Here we go. We have hardly had any. We just barely had any. Ah, shit. There we go. Oh, that's too much. Uh-oh, I spilled some. That'll be fine. You can't even see it. Alright. He says save the eggs, yes. Cheers. Good, but we're out of ice. It's a little bit warm. But it's not bad. Okay, what's going on here? More chat. Alright, Google is Corrupt says, loved your video on the Matco and Mac split. About tools for automotive VOTech classes in '79 and was cursed by distributors putting both brands in the required tool list, meaning 2 tool trucks for warranty. Yeah, I could see you wanting to buy them all in from one location. If you have problems, you just go to one spot. Wow. You're welcome. I like doing that Mac and Matco video. That was pretty interesting when I researched it as well. William says, you're making me think of that scene from Masters of Menace. I'm just having one beer. Jeffrey Field says, I love the booze content of your videos. Cheers from Australia. Cheers. PRO says, tainted nog. Just don't break the tools, no. Keith Studley says, nog. Is that what naugahyde is made from? Let me do this again. Am I on the right? I am. No. Alright, let's get back. Oh. I didn't mean to hit that. I have no idea what I just did. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay. Bob Coombs says, go watch the Tally Ho Capstan Project. Keith Rucker, Windy Hill Foundry, and Dave the Pattern Guy. You are welcome. Sounds interesting. I'll make a note to watch that. Tally Ho Capstan Project. Check it out. One PC Friend says that's some good eggnog. Yep. Each guide says naugahyde is what happens to Nog when he screws. Naugahyde is what happens to Nog when he screws up in front of Quark. That's a Star Trek Deep Space Nine reference. Nice. Master on blah. Alright, so what were we doing here? We were doing something. Oh, we're gonna flip this. Alright, so what I want to do, we're done with this guy. We're on this guy. And I want to cut out the whole bottom. So there's a tiny bit crooked here. You see how this line isn't lining up? But you can rotate this. That was too much. I think that's it right there. So I'm going to delete this. Now, I'm going to take this, copy this, paste this, and flip. Look at that. See? But our angles are off, so we can rotate back the other way. Pretty close. Let's get in here. See how we're lining up. Oh, it's like it's gonna go over 1 pixel. There we go. See? Now I don't have to manually delete all of those, all the shading, but we still got to get rid of our numbers here. Should have finished that before deleting stuff. Beholder says, "Oh geez, Pete, I don't know which is nerdier, your Nog joke or the fact that I instantly got it. I got it when I got to the Quark part. Took me a second to get it, but I got it pretty quick." Oh, I accidentally played the dun dun dun. Set the middle one here. Ready? It says nerd. Google is corrupt, so appreciate you taking time with us. You ever do a video talking about those Sultan pattern wrenches? Open on one side and swivel socket on the other. In them referred to as outboard wrenches. Saltus. I've heard them referred to as Saltus. S-A-L-T-U-S, I think. Saltus wrenches. I might, if I can figure out who invented them, I will definitely do a story on it. The holder says guy with sunglasses, and I'm guessing, oh, you're saying cheers. Cheers. Jeffrey Feld says tally-ho are cigarette papers, and capstan is a tobacco product in Australia. Huh. William, yep, I figured it out. I remembered. Thank you. Bob Combs says just the related videos are likely into dozens of hours, if not days. Uh-oh. One PC Fred asks, they still let you smoke in Australia? William says, yeah, mate. And I want to drive my bicentennial edition Ned Kelly Mac Superliner down to Wagga for Straya Day. Have a pint of the amber fluid with Wayne Higram, and then get in a fight with some lebos. What? Ned Kelly Mac Superliner. I'm guessing this is in Australian. I was supposed to read that in the Australian voice. I don't know if I can do that anymore. Like, whoa, crikeys, mate. Me gonna drive my bicentennial edition Ned Kelly Mac Superliner down to Wagga for Straya Day. Have a pint of the amber fluid with Wayne Pigram and get in a fight with some lebos. That was really bad Australian. But I used to be able to do a much better Australian accent. One PC Fred asks, I believe he is speaking Australian. Will you? Yeah. Okay, Jeffrey understands clearly, I guarantee it. Jeffrey's the Australian in the chat. Now, you have to put two cutters instead of a guide in the cutter. Uh-oh. These two guys here, well, you couldn't really see them originally, so what I want to do, because you can't really see them here, but if we go back, yeah, I'm going to get them from here. I'm going to get these images, which are more detailed, and I'm going to superimpose those in, and then these will spin. It'll look really cool. He steadily asks, are they a Tabasco product or just a way to collect taxes? This the Australian thing? You know who Ned Kelly sounds familiar, but I don't know who. Oh, a Mad Lad. Was he that guy? No, that was a Canadian guy. They don't come to me. For another shrimp on the barbie. Hello, hell. One PC Fred cooked shrimp on the Barbie once too dry. Ned Kelly was a famous Robin Hood-style outlaw that wore homemade armor in shootouts with the constabulary. Huh. Google is corrupt says, how about 30 years back when craftsmen used to make that short pattern 3-piece double box end wrench set? Oh, the stubby double box end? Ones I have are from, I think, Indestro. But they're super handy when you get those short box end wrenches. Yeah. One PC Fred says, I don't know who Robin Hood Kelly was. Okay. Right on copper. Spell check. Ned Kelly was famous for making his suit of armor. Interesting. John 2557 says, Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas, John. Ned Kelly, his legend and larger-than-life reputation personality was kind of Robin Hood-esque. Huh. Something else up for me to look into and research. Sounds interesting. Okay, so I think I just want to finish deleting these numbers. Someone's in the right spot. No. Yeah. No. Why can't I delete? Alright, these two merge down. There we go. Anyways, we're almost done with this one. I thought we would do like 3 or 4 different images tonight, but we're still stuck on the first one. But this isn't too bad. Not too much. Back up. There we go. Alright. Alright. Now, Journeyman Randy says, Hi, Ballinator. RR in the shop. Great channel. RR in the shop. I'll add that to my list. To check them out off stream. And One PC Fred doing that kind of image editing takes a long time. Yeah, it's more just tedious little busy work. It's not too bad. William Brickhouse says there's been 2 Ned Kelly movies. One with Mick Jagger, the other with Heath Ledger. And there was a parody called Reckless Kelly with Yahoo Serious. Wow. Oh, I vaguely remember that movie because I remember Yahoo Serious. He did the Einstein parody, got really famous, and then he disappeared. And I remember that this Kelly one was his second movie, and I don't think I think it was just like straight to video or something. I vaguely remember seeing that. One PC Fred saw the Yahoo Serious movie where he splits the beer at him. That was the Einstein one. I think it might have been Young Einstein? Something Einstein. What became of Yahoo? I don't know. He had like 2... No, he only had 1 big movie. And then anything else that he did, I remember reading something about he refused to like move to America, like Hollywood wanted him, and he's like, no, I want to stay in Australia. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Young Einstein, yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It was a funny movie. I remember when that came out. Oh no, he's a bum now? Got evicted from a place within the last few years. It's sad. Yeah, that guy was funny. He was hilarious. I remember the other movie he did, and it was like, the only way to get it was like on video, and it was funny. I don't know that it was as funny as the first one, but it was still a good movie. Google is corrupt asks, or says, I'm getting caught up on your prior videos. You ever cover possibly in the 40s, 50s US military quarter-inch drive where the vendor specs were maybe 1/32 off from standard quarter drive, trying to reduce theft? No. That's interesting. The military spec'd the sockets to be slightly different so that people couldn't steal them? It's definitely up my alley, something I would look into. I know there were other sizes back then. Like there was a 9/32 drive that was a legit consumer product. It's possible that that's a reference to that. There was like a 7/16 drive. There was a 5/8 drive for a while. But in the end, it was quarter, 3/8, and half that took off. But there were others. Something I'll have to look into. I do want to make a video on the different drive patterns for sockets. His search engine failed, and nobody would take him serious because he was Yahoo serious. Hold on. Oh yeah, hold on. There we go. No, that's the wrong one. I actually like that joke. That's the wrong one. I meant to do... What other ones do I have here? I got rim shot, dun dun dun, sad trombone, crickets, a ding, and a buzzer. I thought I had a... Oh well. You'll get, here you go. That's the good joke sound effect. William says, 9/32 drive, I have some. Yeah. He steadily asks, are metric socket wrenches in quarter-inch drive? Yeah, metric still uses, I guess, fractional for the drive ends for some reason. And I'm not aware of any metric. They call it like 6.4 millimeter drive instead of quarter-inch drive, but yeah. William says, also Giller tool. I seem to find a Giller in military surplus kits. There was also, yeah, 5/8 drive. But who is Giller? I'll make a note to look into Giller. Probably call... Here we go. Yeah, quarter-inch... Yeah, it's like 6 point something millimeter. Yeah, 1/2 inch 13. William says, actually Starrett made an early 1/2 inch drive ratchet kit. I have one of the items out of the kit, and I'm not sure what it is. Huh. I didn't know they made sockets. I do want to redo my Starrett video at some point. I don't recall them making sockets, but that's interesting if they did. It's real y'all standard. Okay. Let's finish up here. Alright. We're done? Oh, we're not done. There we go. Better. Oh, just two more. I think that's good. Look at that. Then we got this. And this. It's kind of hard to tell what all is in here. Oops. Delete. Or how much of this we even need to show, right? I'm probably just going to have it zoom in and just show the screw going into here. I think this one's pretty good for now. Let's see what else is going on. Dan Fisher says, pretty sure 9/32 was the forerunner to 1/4" drive. The early Snap-on midget sets were 9/32. Could be. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if they came out. I think 9/32 did come out before 1/4". Jeffrey Field says, so yeah, 1/4" is 6.38 millimeters. One PC Fred says everything they call 19 millimeter is really 3/4 of an inch. True. Pete Studley has a 400 millimeter metric crescent wrench. Now I'm getting confused here, trying to trick me. Millimeters. .400 millimeters is 15.74 inches. There's a 15-inch crescent wrench, that's pretty big. That's pretty big, 15 inches. I'll say that. Let's see. Google is corrupt says, I look in my toolbox for swap meet find of 1/4" military piece where there was a commercial adapter to make it slightly oversized. Military 1/4" drive fit consumer 1/4" drive. Can I send the pic to you? That's interesting. If you have it, yeah, send me the pic. There should be an email on the channel homepage. When you click the About This channel, in there somewhere should be an email. It's like ballinator069@gmail.com. One PC Fred says 8 millimeters is 5/16 of an inch. Yep. William says, if you find out what the pointed thing in the Starrett kit is, let me know. You're talking about the 1/2" socket set? One PC Fred says the only real metric dimension is 10 millimeter. William says it's very close, but you can't use a 5/16 on 8mm easily, at least in an Allen. Might strip out. Google Isker Up says 10mm is the winner for handgun as well. 10mm versus 9mm versus 40 Smith & Wesson. Williams has cut the wave out of the original and put it on a mirrored. It looks funny. Uh-oh. What did I do, guys? The wave? Oh, this part. Yep, you're right. So I want this guy. Here. Oh, I put him in the wrong spot. Here. Like that. Then I just gotta get rid of this. Why does that not line up now, though? Uh-oh. There we go. We'll stretch that out so it fits. And then I'm just going to take this. Bring this out. Lines up like that. Now you can't even tell. Look at that. Nice. PC Fred says 8mm equals 0.315 inches and 5/16 is 0.3125. Very close. 2 hair dimensions difference, yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, you're right. I should have waited. I should have finished removing the numbers and then did the split. That would have saved me some time. It's enough to... You're talking about the 8mm 5/16. William says we have a Japanese crescent wrench at work, Lobster brand. Yes, I love Lobster. I've got one old Lobster that's probably... I don't know how long they've been around, but I probably got this 20 years ago. At like a flea market or something, a Lobster adjustable wrench. And then later on, they're still around. They make really cool short stubby wrenches, which I believe I did a video on sometime in the past. They're pretty cool. William says, the Starrett socket set with a pointy item. Alright, I'm going to make a note. Pointy item. Because I do want to redo the Starrett video. And when I do that, I'll look into that and see if I can dig up what they were doing with socket sets. Journeyman Randy says, my wife is acting crazy. Is that normal? More than likely, yes, that is normal for her to act crazy. But I don't know your wife. But most of them, yes, they do act crazy. Heath says, I pinch. Master of None also says, I pinch. One PC Fred has a Swedish Bako adjustable. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Bako wrenches. I don't know that I've owned one. William says he likes using the Lobster. It's fun. It's a cool logo. It's like they have like an actual Lobster logo on their wrenches. Let me find it. Hope to spell correctly. Yeah, these are the ones that I have, these short stubby ones. Yeah, like this guy. These are cool. Where's the logo? Oh, kind of see it there. Here it is, here it is. Come on. Larger resolution, please. Make it larger. No, I can't move it. You can't see it because of it. There. Lobster. Cool logo. So like they have an actual lobster as their logo. You see, Fred says the jaws angle a little so they lock on. You're talking the Swedish Bako? I think metric or SAE, yeah. Hold on. William has one Bessie crescent that has a cam type locking mechanism. Yeah, somebody mentioned those to me a while back. And I have not come across one yet. But that's something I do want to check out. It looks like a really cool design. I don't know, is the ones made in Spain as good? I don't know if they're as good, because I can't really compare them to that. But the ones that I've had, the Spanish-made adjustable wrenches, I've liked them. The Channel Lock, I think, yeah, Channel Lock makes them. Or Channel Lock has them that are rebranded from a Spanish company. William also has a unknown crescent that has a keyed square sliding mechanism. Odd. Google is corrupt says, when I was a kid, about 1970, my parents got me a discount store 3/8 drive socket set, but the catch was it was 3/8 hex shank versus common square drive we use now. Any idea when 6-sided faded away? I looked into that a while ago, and I couldn't find like a definite date, because they kept making those hex drive socket sets up into the mid, possibly even late 70s. Like I went through a bunch of old Sears catalogs, and they were still selling them in like 1976. They never like stopped making them for some reason. But the square drive stuff, off the top of my head, I don't remember when it came out, but it pretty much took over. And the hex drive stuff got relegated to the budget, cheaper type stuff. One PC Fred says mine are SAE, your adjustable wrenches. They have inch markings on them, cool. Journeyman Randy says you might want to cover bodywork tools sometimes. I have limited experience with bodywork. Wonder what I could do a video on. Maybe. An O wrench? What's that in reference to? O wrench. Dan Fisher says Diamond Cock are still the best adjustable wrenches, and I'll die on that hill. Diamond stuff was really good stuff. I'll say that for sure. William has a 24-inch diamond that he bought for $40. Well, that's a good deal. 24-inch, I'm assuming adjustable wrench. That's a pretty big wrench. For $40, yeah. One PC Fred picked up some snap-on doilies. Okay. The older ones had wider jaws. Are we back? Okay, adjustable wrenches. The older ones opened up wider? Or are you saying the wrench itself was thicker? Google is corrupt bought a vintage Baco adjustable off of eBay a couple of years back. Cool thing was, opposite end had an open V pattern with serrations, or a universal type wrench for nuts like an open end. Opposite end had an open V pattern with serrations. Like those alligator grip wrenches? Or yeah. Yeah, you're talking where it's like a... I think I know what you're talking about. Where it's got like this thing on the end? Oh, they just showed one there. Where it's an adjustable on one end, and then it's got this guy, the alligator wrench on the other. Maybe? One PC friend says Baco is the best adjustable wrenches. I haven't tried Baco out yet. I'll have to. Rika says, yeah, but they're backwards. You mean the thumb screw that you turn? Dolly? Dolly. I said doily before, didn't I? Dolly is what you use in sheet metal. A body dolly. Yes, got it. Dolly anvils, yep. The width of the jaw is wider side to side. Yeah, it's a thicker jaw. Hammer and dolly. I got you now. It's only the third eggnog. Okay. What were we even doing? We were over here. Alright, this thing's pretty much done. Except these gears, we gotta put these gears in their place. So I need one that's like this and one that's like this. So I'm gonna grab both of these. We're gonna go back here. And let's see what we got going on here. This is the new right. No, this is the left. Right? Yeah, that's the left side. This can go here. And here are our gears. Alright, so let us remove the background. Let us invert. Nice. Now we're just going to take these gears, clean them up here quick. Take these numbers out. Too much there. I don't think we just want it straight on. Yeah. So we're going to get rid of the whole side as well. Nice. Now, we're going to put this over top of that. So we're going to make this smaller. Oh, we don't make it too small. A little bit larger than what. Line that up with the screw there. Hair bigger. Like that. Oh, sorry. Now, we can delete out. It's gonna be tricky here. What can we delete out from here? Because I want to show those gears so you can see them. I think I want to have them be like on the top. I think we want to get rid of everything on the inside here. Oh, that's too much. Just make that a circle. Yeah. Like that. Alright, so now when we put this up here, this sits on top. And we can get rid of this whole part here. We want the ears to be on our new image. This can go away too. Okay, maybe. Keith Studley says, the old wrench are sockets that are hollow through the middle and you never need deep sockets. I would call them pass-through sockets, where the socket is, yeah, where the bolt can stick up all the way through. Oh no, PC Fred says, people keep running my mailbox over, so I get a lot of hammer and dolly practice. Might need to get one of them. I read a story where a guy bought a big, huge mailbox, like the large package size ones. And what he did, he filled it with cement and then put inside that a smaller, regular size mailbox. And apparently that stopped people from smashing his mailbox. I don't know. Baco avoided Crescent's patents by reversing the thread on the thumb wheel. I remember reading that, and I don't think I could confirm it. But, so allegedly Baco came up with the first, they made the first, what we would consider like a modern style adjustable wrench. But they made it and patented it over in Europe. Crescent patented it here in the US. And then Baco allegedly wanted to sell theirs here, and they're like, well, we invented it first, but Crescent had patented it here in the States first, so allegedly they switched the threads. But I don't know if that's true. I could not confirm it for sure. Yeah, Baco does, they claim to have invented the modern style of adjustable wrench. Don't grab the profile. Uh-oh, I grabbed the wrong gear. Uh-oh. No. Not these gears? Which gears? Which gears do I need? Because this is the front view, right? There's one of these here going sideways. So looking at it from top down, right? Here's looking at it from the side. Yeah, right here. This is what I'm trying to do. But am I grabbing the wrong gear? You see, for instance, it's in raised letter. Oh, you're talking Baco? They put that they invented the adjustable? No. Eat steadily. What I think of Baco? Baco. They go hard on the claim. I mean, their patent, the European patent, came out first before Crescent's patent did. But there were other different styles of adjustable wrench that looked different. Right, like the Coes wrench was out before. Like we showed, you know, this style adjustable was out long before Baco, but Jeffrey says one gear cuts and the other guides. I'm so confused. I'm thinking I should just take this image. Because that looks different from this. Because this has a gear here. And this other gear here. Thinking we're going to go with this image instead. Baco is actually better known for their cutting tools. They still sell them at Smith's Mower in Caldwell. Google is corrupt says you figured out the Baco adjustable wrench alligator opposite end. Excellent detective work because Chad is character limited. Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you were talking about, the alligator style. I think I've seen those types of adjustables before. I mean, we just found one here. But I've seen these guys before with that alligator end. He Studley says, you just ruined that antique threading tool. Jeffrey says one gear coarse cuts whilst the other hones the thread edge. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, we're already here. But like this one. The one is doing the coarse cut. Hard to picture. It's going to be tricky. William says get rid of the screw head, then you'll have to clear the shading in the bore and get rid of the keyway. Yeah, I got rid of the nut, I think. Just, yeah, we got rid of the nut. You just have the screw head. Clear the shading in the, yeah, there's some shading here that's in the way. But the more I look at this, I think I want this image, but I didn't want to get that because we don't have the whole thing here. Google is corrupt says, how about those old cast aluminum Tuffy brand screwdrivers with their unique flip-out handle wing for additional leverage? Tuffy brand? Not familiar with that. Oh, this style. These are kind of cool. Oh, here's one in the box. Oh, small picture though. And look at this one. Yeah, I've seen these. I'm familiar with these. These are kind of neat. Yeah, because you got a little extra handle for extra leverage. If I find one of these, I'll definitely do a video on it. They're pretty cool. One PC friend is not quite there yet. Oh, the mailbox? So you moved it back off the road some. Oh. William says, my buddy Bob collects Baco. He showed me a Baco and a Crescent side by side. They are opposite. Yeah, the thumb wheel. Yep. Coes wrench is a hammer with extra steps. Yeah, a lot of them you'll see when you find old ones. You see markings on the end here where you can tell somebody was using it as a hammer. Yeah, you might want the ones with a screw in them. Just delete the screw. I think that's what I'm going to do. They're not gears, they're worms. Worm gears? Sure. Hold on, I got a cat bothering me. I gotta put him outside. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, I had to put that cat out. He doesn't... When he wants to go outside, he wants to go outside. I think this is going to be it for tonight. Alright, cheers everybody. Uh-oh. There it goes. Okay. Timothy Hope says, Baco is always known for their pipe wrenches. Yep, yep. Google is corrupt. Keith meant to say those pass-through sockets I first noticed in the early 90s were old Ratchet brand, and first saw them at Sears. Decades later, patents most have expired and pass-through more common. I started researching that. Pass-through sockets. And they go back to the 70s. See if I can find it here. Yep. This is a 1973 ad from Mac Tools for a close clearance socket set. But look at these are pass-through sockets. And they would have had this weird hex style ratchet. They even had an extension. But they were designed to fit, so this outer hex would fit in here in the ratchet, like it is here. But they also had an inner square drive, so you could use them with a regular socket too. But as far as I can tell, this was the first this is the oldest that I could find as far as a pass-through socket. William Recco, here's a kitty. Yeah, I got two. I got one indoor cat that stays inside all the time, and another cat that likes to not stay inside. He's just an outside cat, and he does not like staying in the house. So every once in a while he's got to go out, and I don't know what he does out there. He runs around, does his thing, and then he'll come back. A hob gear. Aluminum screwdrivers. I think it was just a handle part that was aluminum. Cross-sectioned in the image. Yeah, this is something's chopped. Here, this probably, because somewhere here is here. Here's what they would look like otherwise. So it's a curved surface here. One piece. It's not a tiny gear. Meow, says cat emoji. It says every tool has its hammer side. True. That's what the lines mean. Yeah, the cross-sectional lines. Here? Yep. William says, I'm going to buy some Tuffy drivers to complement my Exolite and Hold Ease stuff. Cool. Intermission music. Sergio Mendes? Unfortunately, I can't hear the background music. I'm not sure what's playing right now. So it's mostly Christmas music, and then there's Midnight Special stuck in there. There's no snack bar open? Oh, during the intermission? If you have one, yeah. Holder says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Cheers. Oh, the Let's All Go to the Lobby. Is that royalty free? Where I can use that in a live stream? If so, I'll try and get it. Later, I guess. Okay. AD Tools knurled thin aluminum body screw starters with spring-loaded Phillips. Yes, 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 the old school screw starters. Yeah, it was like aluminum, like the size of a pen. I don't know if I've done a video on them or not. We came across one in one of the box lots in one of the tool haul videos that I did a while back. But yeah, those are pretty cool. Top gear cuts coarse, bottom gear hones and chamfers the thread. Note the difference between the east and west of the diagram. Okay. Oh, cool. AC pass-through sockets. I did not know about them. Cool. William has two dogs. One is ingenious, the other an idiot. A pit and a German shepherd. Guess which is which. Okay. Think I can guess. Dan Fisher has the gear wrench pass-through socket called a gear ratchet. Yep. They were the first socket sets from Gear Wrench back when they only had ratchet wrenches and not a full line of tools yet. Yeah, they originally had just the wrenches, and then they added the gear ratchet, which was the sockets, and I think it was a gear driver, which was just a ratcheting screwdriver. But yeah, I've got some of the gear wrench pass-through sockets. At times they're useful. Google is corrupt, says thanks for researching pass-through sockets back to the 70s. You just schooled me because early 90s where I first seen them. Probably me too. I don't remember seeing them until, oh, where'd it go? I don't remember seeing anything like this until, probably until the gear wrench, right? But this ad is from 73. But I couldn't find, there's no patent number or anything. And I didn't dig any deeper. Like I can probably go through all the Mac Tools patents registered to that company. And I know this is from 73, so I can just filter it to 73 and earlier. Maybe I can find it. But, this was the oldest that I could find. Hob gears. These gears. And the acorn dies. Well, this I'm not happy with. Thinking, I'm going back. So how this was before. Because this is going to be on the screen for like 6 seconds. And a lot of times I think I spend too much time on these animations. So I'm thinking, all we're going to do for this, oh, not that, I want the updated one. Where's the updated? Here it is. Yeah, new left, new right. So we're going to have this. These will be 2 separate images. So this guy on here will move in, and you'll just see the screw go in here. It'll just go behind this image, right? And you'll see it go through, and then we'll switch. And I'll show this here. And I'm just going to screenshot this and show you this. So I don't want to try and animate all of this for something that's going to be on screen for 8 seconds. So I think this explains it better than I can, just by looking at it here. William says tack crow's feet are earlier. Uh-oh. No, don't do this now. No. Tack crow's feet? No way. What's this? Is this what I think it is? Ratcheting. Flare wrench. Crowfoot. Oh, this is a Caddis video. Uh-oh, is he gonna copyright claim me? I don't think he will. We're reacting to the video. This is a reaction video. Patented. Oh. Yeah, I don't have an ad blocker, so... No, why are you playing this ad? No! I don't want this ad on my live stream, jeez. Oh my god, and it's starting over. Okay. hold on. Look at this. This is cool as heck. So this ratchets. Look at that. I've seen these in catalogs. I've never seen one of these in person. But I never seen a crowfoot version. I've seen them where it was the actual wrench. Yeah, look at that. And then you can take it off of the pipe. Wow. So proto-tack. Well, I gotta find one of these. Yeah, you're not gonna get that into a tight spot. Does he take it apart? I want to see what's inside. Yes, he's taking it apart. Look, guys. He's gonna take it apart here. I want to see what's inside. Here it is. Oh, it's just a gear. It's just a gear. And then here's your pawls. It's a dual pawl ratchet. Interesting. For one pawl. No, I want to see. So one paw's pointing this way, and the other's pointing this way. Well, I guess it has to be, yeah, because of the angle of the gears here. It has to be. But it's a one-way. It's not reversible. You have to flip it around. Now this is cool. I'm gonna have to find one of these. Proto-matum and tack. Alright, well, something else to keep an eye out for. Very cool. Gear hob. Mac steering alignment socket set. Pretty sure Snap-on also made a set. This is it. This is it. This is that thing from that ad. Images. These have a different style ratchet. This has a more modern style ratchet. But these are those same sockets. These are those pass-through sockets. And yeah, here's the adapters. But there's an O-ring. Here's another set. Here's it's a tiny image. Here's a better image. They use just like an O-ring to retain it into the ratchet. And of course there's a hole going through it, so it's a pass-through. Cool. William says it's a rotating worm cutter that cuts a rotating workpiece. Yep. Have I ever run into an actual read and print screw out in the real world? Took what I thought was a number 2 back to Sears for warranty 25 years ago, and they looked at it and the number was a read and prints number 2. I don't know if it was read and prints, but there was something I looked at that had a drain plug that had like a tip for a It wasn't a read and prints, it was some other weird Phillips though. But it had like a cross sign for a Phillips, but it was like no depth to it. So any Phillips, I had to take like a number 3 Phillips and grind the tip down to square it off to get it to fit. I don't know that I have, I think, one read and print screwdriver, but I don't know if I've ever encountered a screw in real life. Tubing appliance company, so that's tack. Got it. Proto bought them. Cool. Beholder says, the graphics are fantastic. I dig that kind of old school drafting documents. Yeah, me too. I love going through the old patent documents and looking at stuff. The cat's ours. One PC friend says, looks vice grip sized to me. The, this thing? Yeah, it is huge. It's gonna be... You're not gonna be using that on like a... I don't know how you would... Yeah, you wouldn't have a lot of... You need to have a lot of room to fit that guy in there. He says gonna have to buy a lot of boxes at garage sales. Yeah, you never know what you find in those box lots. There's a variety of tack with interchangeable gears in different sizes. Snap-on one is $1 million. Oh, Reed and Prince were in stoves. Maybe. Interesting. Could be. I don't know that I've seen them. Mac Ratchet is neat. Notice the square drive in the folding handle. Yeah, this is really weird. It's flex on two ends. Do I want to see what these are going for on eBay? I hate buying stuff off of eBay. 139. No. 119? But what if I wait? Eventually, I'll find one of these at a flea market for like $5 or $10. Just the ratchet, $52? One socket, $15? I don't think so, guys. I would like to do a video on pass-through sockets. 125. We'll just forget that we looked at that. But these are really neat. I like this. Wood stoves, the Reed and Prince, could be. How about the Alden brand? Open-end wrenches that short end of open end pivots like a pawl. Oh, the ratcheting open end. There's been a few variations of those. I haven't dug into them. Alden ratcheting wrench. Yeah, it had a weird mechanism in here that this would flip out and ratchet. There's a whole set of them. Never really dug into them. That's the Reed and Prince. It has stopped raining. I have to walk the dog. Alright, well, go ahead, walk the dog, man. Yeah, internet tool prices are too high. I agree. I rarely will go. I bought, what did I buy off of eBay? Oh, the Schick pipe wrench. But those were pretty cheap. I think I paid like $15 for that. Well, maybe I paid more. No, I paid more. I paid like 30 or something. William says, think those prices are bad. Look for a set of John Deere by Bonnie. Yeah, I know the John Deere branded stuff goes for more. Definitely. Well, what's going on? And somehow I still have 32 concurrent viewers. Alright, well, we'll keep going for a bit then. Yeah, you're paying for the convenience, you're right. Imperial tubing wrenches are neat too, they ratchet. What do we got? Oh, no, these are pipe cutters. Ooh, what's this? Old catalog. Imperial, the world's largest manufacturer of tubing tools. Cutters. Reamer. Flare. Layering tool. Tube benders, these are neat. Oh, look at this one with the hand crank on it. Aircraft grade, high strength stainless steel. Swaging tool. Test plugs. When is this? This is from 1959. I mean, some AC kits. I don't see wrenches here. They might have made them later. Oh, these? Oh, yeah, so this guy swings open and then ratchets. I wonder how that works. First, how does that work? Well, that's interesting. No, I have to look at them some more. PC Fred says I like going out and buying stuff at sales though. Yeah, I would much rather buy stuff at sales. You get a lot better deals. Yeah, Freeman deals. Google is corrupt says, what's your take on why with 1/4" drive sockets they seem to stop at 5/8 SAE and 14mm. I'd love to have a couple more bigger sizes in both, because I love 1/4" drive for smaller tasks. I'm guessing just because there's overlap at that point. Because you got 1/2", or you got 3/8" drive going down to like, 3/8 of an inch. But yeah, there are some. I think I got like a 16mm 1/4" drive socket. There are some larger ones out there, but you gotta special order them. Okay, William was the one who turned me on to the Schick pipe wrenches. Very cool, thank you. Yeah, they're very neat. I want to get a smaller one, and probably just keep that like in the kit in my truck. Because they're so light, like insanely light. There's a set of International Harvester wrenches for $3,000. Any of those custom brand stuff goes for big bucks. PC Fred has the pipe cutter, the Imperial. And they're in the middle. Yeah, I think I'm a little behind on chat. I think we're talking about these guys. Yeah, they had neat tools back in '59 too, it looks like. Jeffrey says, go to bed, it's 2:12 p.m. Christmas Day in Australia. and hitting 30 degrees Celsius in temp. Thanks for the content. Is that cold or warm? Hold on, we gotta go back here. Celsius. 30. Oh, that's 86? So it's hot down there. Wow. No, it's cold here. Well, actually, it warmed up a little. It was freezing cold. I think it got up to like 38 today. UC says 59 was a great year. William says they work great, almost like an oscillating gear drive. Huh. I'll have to see if I can round up one of them at some point too. Google is corrupt. Another screw head, figure 8 or clutch, used to be common factory screws on mobile homes in the 70s and on some campers. Unknown what vintage. Yes, somewhere on the channel. I think, guys, probably one of my first videos in the Tool Lore series. But I did a video on it. But yeah, it's, if I remember correctly, the guy who designed them, they called them clutch head because it was intended to, like, stick. The screwdriver bit was supposed to stick to the screw like a clutch action. It doesn't really do that, doesn't lock on, but that was the intent behind it. And he tried to sell them to automotive manufacturers for, like, ease of manufacturing, increasing manufacturing efficiency. GM used them for a few years in interior components in the late 50s, early 60s, and then they stopped. And for some reason, mobile homes picked them up, and they made them up into the 80s. I've seen mobile homes from the 80s that had those clutch head screws on them. No idea why the mobile home industry took to them, but the automotive industry didn't. Timothy Hope was 7 in 59. Well, I wasn't even born yet. John Deere, yep, they also used clutch head. One PC Fred says, fasteners have a torque spec and drivers have a torque spec. Okay. William says Proto makes a 1/4-inch body ratchet with a 3/8 drive stub. Yeah, I love that style ratchet. I know I've got the SK version of that. And I got one of the Japanese brands, Tone maybe. But I love that, the concept behind that, where it's a 3/8 drive ratchet, but in a 1/4-inch drive body. One PC Fred doing my conversions for me, thank you. Yeah, well, they're on the other side of the planet. Everything's upside down for them. The snow falls the other way. The snow doesn't land on the ground down there. It goes up into the sky. Because they're on the other side. The 52-inch Schick is awesome. I call it the Supreme War Club. Wow. That's a long pipe wrench. You're gonna get 58? Yeah, I don't think it got up to 40. It was like bitterly cold for a while. We got like a foot of snow. Now today it warmed up a little. You should look... Oh, Steve Farley says you should look for Parmalee pipe wrenches. Self-ratcheting 360 degrees. Parmalee wrench. Somebody mentioned these to me a while back. Yeah. Oh, they got a website. Yeah, somebody mentioned these to me a while back. I do need to look into these. These look really cool. The pipe wrench that, like, grabs the wrench is supposed to be, like, it grabs it the same way that your hand would. Pretty cool. PC Fred says the hemispheres are backwards for seasons. Yeah, they're upside down. Keith Studley remembers Clutch Cargo. Yes. Yeah, I want to work in a Clutch Cargo style parody into one of the videos at some point. I don't know what that is. Now, I'm not old enough to remember that when it aired, but I remember them replaying it. And it's like really, I don't want to say bad animation, but it kind of was. And to make up for that, they didn't animate the lips moving of the characters. You'd have a cartoon character, a cartoon, and then they would put real human lips. Let's find Clutch Cargo. No, go back. Go back. Yeah, see? So they would put a real person's lips moving in the cartoon. So that way they didn't have to do as much animation. I mean, it was just disturbing. And this was a kid's cartoon. So I want to work that into a parody at some point. William has a ratcheting pipe wrench. I can use a ratchet to angle the head to get into weird spots. Cool. Yeah, the animation was bad, and a lot of it was almost like just static images. And then they just used the fact that they had human lips moving to make up for it. About 44 here in Seattle. That's not bad, it's above freezing. Gloomy gray drizzle. All pipe wrenches kinda ratchet, true. Designed to have a little bit of play in them so that you can kinda get that ratchet action going. Google is Corrupt says, thanks for sharing your evening with us toolheads, no problem. You're a wealth of knowledge. Plenty of YouTubers talking about current tools, but since I'm vintage, I love vintage tools, thus appreciate your channel. Yeah, I like anything that's more unusual. I don't want to do the same stuff that everybody else is doing, so. And Beholder agrees. Thank you. You see, Fred says seasons only happen because the planet wobbles. Oh, I remember reading this. Yeah, it wobbles 4 degrees a little bit. And that changes the angle of the sun. Stardrum. You saw the Three Stooges in person in the late 50s. Very cool. The heck with Clutch Cargo. Lol. Wow. Same weather in Wenatchee right now. Yeah, the 4-degree angle to the axis of the Earth. Well, we hardly did anything for the animation. I wanted to show you guys a lot more stuff. But you get the idea. This will go in. I'll make some of these different colors. Some of these lines different colors. Like the dotted lines a different color. And then it will show up in here and it'll look really cool. And it'll zoom in. Let me at least show you the actual Allen patent for the Allen wrench. 1908, 1909. This one. I think this is it. Yes. We should have just started with this one. But this is how the Allen wrench was invented, or more appropriately, the Allen screw. What they would start out with just a chunk of steel. They would push a hex-shaped thingy into it here, giving it like a notch, like that, and then that would get pressed through. This isn't showing me what I wanted to show you. Is this the wrong patent? Well, you'll see it when the tool lore episode comes out. But basically, they push it in the hex, but the head gets formed on it. This is the wrong drawing. Okay. I need to at least show you the drawing. Did I save it? These are the stuff that I saved. Oh, we already saw that. Check this out. But you know I'm going to have to animate this guy and make him spin around. Well, this is from one of the early Allen ads. That's why they invented them, because these set screws would stick up, and if you brushed your hand across this guy, he'd catch onto your shirt, and it could pull you into a machine. They're saying 1,500 people were killed or maimed each year due to set screws sticking out. That's the original image. We saw that. We saw that. Oh, then we gotta go here. This is cool graphic, huh? Probably use some variation of this for the thumbnail for the video. But with the Allen and the lights coming down. And there's some cool factory pictures too, but I don't know if I can zoom in on these enough to use them in the video. Maybe. Might be able to clean these up a little. These are the factory photos of the Allen screws being made. Caught up here. The angle of the Earth, yeah. Bob Coombs says the chat was great. Sorry we got in the way of you getting anything done. Now this was just to chill and hang out. So I don't care if I didn't get anything done. And I did get quite a bit. I mean, I got this done. So I just wanted to hang out and chat with you guys for a bit. Beholder says, I totally dig the vintage tools. I'm a member of the group Pacific Northwest Tool Collectors Pinwittick. They have monthly, bi-weekly meetings, sales, and swap meets with some lectures and presentations and lunch. That's very cool. Cap screws, yep. Well, haven't attended for a long time, but it's a great group. Sounds cool. William says, I wish I could afford a patent. Do you have something you want to patent, or do you want to buy someone else's patent? Google is corrupt. Had Japanese motorcycles since '71, and ashamed to admit, only 5 years ago did I realize their Phillips screws were jizz style. a different degree of taper over Phillips number 2. Huge difference getting a Jizz number 2. Yes, there is. Huge difference to a Jizz screwdriver. Ah, PC Fred says you have to afford defending patents. Yeah, we've seen that a few times where somebody invents something and somebody else just steals it. And it's like, if you can't afford to go to court and fight, too bad for you. William says, hey, I have a box that's actually Allen brand set screws, probably 80 years old at the shop, need a pick. I mean, if you want to send me a pic, I can't promise I'll use it in the video. But yeah, if it's in like the original packaging, that would be cool. I might be able to use that. Beholder says, exactly. I knew a guy that spent more time defending his than he did using, and that sucks. Yeah, if you can't defend a patent, it's not worth anything. I think that's why a lot of the guys, they invent something and then they just sell it to somebody else. Steve Farley says, sometimes you might want to look up Bemis and Call from Springfield, Massachusetts. Inherited their monkey wrenches from my grandfather. Done a little bit of research on them. We found a Bemis and Call pipe wrench in the last tool haul video that I did, and I dug into them a little bit, and I am planning on doing a full video on the Coes wrench, and they are going to play into that, because they were kind of competitors, and they were in the same, they were both in Springfield, they were in the same city. I believe they were like literally across the street from each other, so that's going to play into that episode, but that won't be till after the Allen episode. And after the Allen episode, I may, if that does well, I may do a Bondhus episode. Bondhus was the guy that invented the ball end Allen had. So we might do that video next, and then Coes wrench. Google is corrupt. Oh, handheld handheld impact. Yeah, I've used them. Bought a Vessel brand from J.C. Whitney in about 75 for $4.99 and still have it. Yeah, Vessel is a good Japanese brand. I don't know if they were good back in 74, but nowadays they're a pretty good brand. But yeah, I've used those hand impacts before. There are times when you need them. You made a special greasing tool for semis. I want to lease it to SKF. Oh, a prototype tool. Oh boy. Yeah. I don't know what to say. If I was in that position, if you try to make it yourself, like Fred said, somebody else is going to steal it at some point, and you're going to have to sue them, and you're going to need money for that. But if you can sell it, release it, or license the patent to a big company like SKF, that would be nice. So yeah, I hope you're able to do that, if you're able to license that patent. But it's one of those things where you don't want to patent it, because once you patent it, you know, it's going to be in a document that anyone can go online and look up and see how it works and steal it. That's why some people don't patent stuff, because they don't want somebody stealing it. But if you already have a licensing agreement lined up and you know they're going to pay for it, then definitely do it. Jesse Henson says, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I made it, excellent. Keith Steadily says, those are great until the ball snaps off. Oh, the Bondhus, the ball end wrenches. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta be careful with the amount of torque you apply with them. There's been lots of times where you need that to get that angle to sneak in somewhere. Or someone else says that they patented it first. There's a lot of stuff you gotta do when you patent something. There's research you have to do. This might be too old to show any of it. But yeah, you have to do like citations where you have to do a search and find similar stuff, and it's a lot of work. Alright, what were we doing? I wanted to show you, I think it's in this catalog. Here, this is what I wanted to show. This will be in the tool lore episode, but this shows how they made the original Allen head screws. It had nothing to do with the wrench. The wrench was almost an afterthought to the screw. But they start out with this chunk of steel. Here you can see they we machined it and we shaped it. And then they jam. That's kind of what we were seeing in here, where they jam a hex-shaped, I don't know what you would call it, anvil. They would press this in. It were cold forms. They would press this in with very high pressure, and it would bulge out, right? But because it is in, it would be inside like a die, so that it would get pushed through, and that would push these sides up and form the hex around it, which is what shows up here. And then they would put the chamfer on it and then thread it, and there you go. But I gotta work on an animation for that. I'm gonna have to take these, because it's not... I was hoping it would show better. I got too much stuff open. This doesn't really explain it. So I'm gonna need to take a combination of this with these images. These are pretty good. I can zoom in here. But I should be able to explain how it was done. But anyway, that's going to be the next tool lore episode. William says SKF owns Lincoln and Alamite. So a big company now, huh? He steadily makes rich lawyers for sure. Yeah, patent law. Yeah, that's a huge thing. There are lawyers where that's all that they do. Literally all they do is patent law. And it's so simple. And that's one of them things you might want to keep under your hat. And wait till you know you got a deal lined up. If you can get a deal lined up, that would be awesome, yeah. Broach. Yeah, that's the term for when they press the thingy into the thingy. And then they make a set screw. I'll just say that in the video. I'll show these pictures here. And they'll be like, yeah, they took, put the thingy in, and then they got a set screw. Google is corrupt. I had a vacuum cleaner repair shop in 92 to 95, and the modern plastic-bodied corkscrews were common bit. And in the modern plastic bodies, torque screws were a common bit. Yet aside from vacuums, never seen torque sold. Now, fast forward 3 decades, they're common now. Yeah, they're all over the place. I'm thinking... some of the trim on my truck, like the headlights and tail lights, my truck's an 86, and it's got Torx on it. So, might have been in the 80s. Not sure when that started getting common. Beholder, thumbs up. Lead screw threading, that's serious. Ooh, Master of None used to work for National Machinery, who made the cold formers that made the screws for Allen and others. Very cool. Forming die / forming punch. I will attempt to use the correct terminology when I make the video, I swear. A forming die is the thing that gets stuck in here. Yep. Wire in one end, bolts out the other. Some of them were 600 a minute. Very cool. One PC Fred. Torx is a brand, non-Torx is Star Drive. Very true. Torx has like a trademark on the word Torx. If you want to make Torx head screws, you have to pay Torx a licensing fee. Otherwise, you can't call them Torx, which is why sometimes you'll see them referred to as Star Drive. This is a more generic term. William says, I'm not going to say how it works, but it makes greasing a fifth wheel plate. This is like on a semi-truck, the thing that hooks up the trailer, fifth wheel, got ya. A 10 or 20 second job. Yeah, because I know they have to put grease on those. Interesting. Beholder says, kind of like, yeah, Square versus Robertson. Yep. William has some unusual vacuums. I actually have an unusual vacuum I was thinking of doing a video on. I believe it was called a Rainbow. It is a water filter vacuum. It's basically a vacuum that doesn't have a filter bag. Instead, you put water in it. There's a bowl that you put water in. It's basically like a bong that is a vacuum cleaner. And all of the dirt gets filtered by the water in the bowl. And it sucks dirt, and it works. I don't know how old mine is. I did some research on it. Apparently that company is still around. But they're like weird, like one of those door-to-door sale type businesses or something. But maybe when it warms up I'll do a video on that. Maybe we'll do a vacuum lore series. Who knows? You'll never let that girlfriend my Orac XL commercial? Vaguely remember Orac vacuums. Okay. Well, I think that was a pretty good stream, guys. We've been going for almost 4 hours. And yes, that was my chair squeaking again. I'll fix that for the next stream. But, I think that's going to be it for today. There's a video coming out Friday. It's kind of a, I don't want to call it a filler video, but it's kind of a, there's nothing special. I go over what I would consider like the regular, everyday type tools that I keep in my toolkit in my vehicle. So that will come out on Friday. If you're a channel member, which there's like a whopping 7 of you now, but if you're a channel member, you can watch the video now. It's already out. But for everybody else, it will be out on Friday. So we'll have that. Then I've got a flashlight video coming. We will be doing, we'll be doing a lot more stuff. I don't know what. The Allen video, that's probably not going to be till next month. Well, it definitely won't be late January, maybe not till early February. It depends. Alright, Beholder. Yeah, I gotta go too. We're gonna... Oh, William. That's not good. Oh, but you got him to marry her and get rid of her. Alright, well that worked out then. He says, thanks, I had fun, me too. Rainbow vacuum, yep. Yeah, I got one of them. I do want to do a video on that guy. It's a little off topic for the channel, but it's stuff I find interesting, so. Master and None, Merry Christmas, man. Have a good one. You too. Coombs says, good time. Thank you. Wood trim screws that use a tiny square drive. Not sure. Unless, I'm assuming you're not talking about Robertson. Not sure. Keith, I assume you're referring to William's situation. You see friends as good stuff. Have a merry something. Guessing Christmas. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks everybody for showing up. This was kind of a chill stream. We didn't do a whole lot, but we had fun. We'll be doing another one at some point. Alright, see you later. Bye.